Hey beautiful soul, welcome to the channel. So I already pulled some cards, forgot to turn on the video. First card, Knight of Wands. I see you have a heart of gold, but you're also fearless. I see you seek justice for people. You challenge authority when it's harming people, and you reject spiritual frameworks that don't actually nourish your souls. You're a deep empath. I feel like you can feel the rot beneath the surface. You can sense when reality is being curated, when fear is being manufactured, when people are being steered away from remembering they are infinite. There are forces in this world that benefit from confusion. They benefit when people feel small, when they forget their own power, when they stay trapped in constant survival, and you can feel it. You can feel how fear is pushed into the collective, how low vibrational are encouraged, and how that heaviness becomes a kind of feel for what thrives on it. That's why people are drawn to you. Your kindness isn't performative. Your compassion isn't conditional. Your presence has weight. You carry this energy of someone who came here to be a beacon of light, not to blend in. Someone who wakes people up, or at least calls them back to themselves, past the false programming, past the loud distractions, past the pretend world that tells them they are only what they produce. People fall in love with your heart because you live differently. You listen and you go inward. You test everything against what resonates at a soul level. You've always known you're more than just a physical body. And even as a child, you could feel it. Something just didn't add up. You've always known you're more than a body. And even as a child, you could feel it. The rules, the pressure, the regulation, the definition of success, the way everyone was trained to chase approval, it felt like a cage, like a trap. You could feel the manipulation of perception, the way we are pushed into roles, the way we are told what to want, what to fear, what to tolerate. It's like the system wants everyone neatly packaged, predictable, easy to manage. And you've always been sensitive to that restriction. You may have felt like trapped long before you had language for why. Yes, in your younger years, you might have thought like the exhaustion meant something was wrong with you. You might have felt different, overwhelmed, burnout, like you were carrying an invisible weight. No, it wasn't that you were broken. It was that you were trying to survive as a false narrative, the version of you that the world kept demanding. But you kept being discerning. You kept observing, you kept watching. You kept listening to your own intuition. And that naturally led you down a path, a rabbit hole of realizing how much of this world is built on suppression, on distraction, on false narrative, on conditioning people forgot who they are. And still, you stayed loving, you stayed kind, somehow became courageous. You're the messenger, not because you're loud, but because you're real. You understand fear, especially when the fear of standing out. You understand the pressure to conform because you've wrestled with it. You have to earn your freedom internally. You've always gone inward to find truth. because the social performance felt draining. The daily pretending felt wrong. Anything that doesn't resonate would siphon your energy. So you learn to recharge in solitude. You may have felt like a loner, like you could see what others weren't doing, like you were hyper aware while everyone else moved through life half asleep. For a long time, you may have interpreted that sensitivity as a flaw, like you were too much, too emotional, too intense, too sensitive, too different. But over time, you started to see yourself clearly. You aren't broken. The structure is, the illusion is, the distortion is. Let me tell you, you're one of those souls who felt the weight of it early. The separation, the disconnection, the way everyone is trained. Like each person is sealed into their own little box or container, cut off from oneness, cut off from belonging, cut off from the real truth that we are all connected. And you've been unscrewing that lid. You've been breaking the spell. Not because you're an attention seeker, but because you've been seeking home. You've been seeking liberation. At first, it was on subconscious level. You were simply searching for the natural state, freedom, joy, peace of mind, and love. Then you began to see what was creating the heaviness, what beliefs were keeping you small, what narratives were keeping you anxious, lonely, and so disconnected. You've become extremely intuitive because you can feel the distortion. You can feel when something is out of alignment. You can feel the prison bars that other people have learned to ignore. Now I see you're stepping into empowerment. People feel you as a leader, a guide, someone who clears dense energy, not by pretending that darkness doesn't exist, but by doing the work to release it, by refusing to carry shame that was never yours, by removing the hooks of fears. Because we were conditioned early, we were born innocent, open, absorbing messages like a sponge. And so many of those messages were designed to make us feel unworthy, to make us doubt ourselves, to make us ashamed of being human, to keep us unconscious, easier to control, easier to manage. But you've been clearing it layer by layer. The false self-image, the oppressive beliefs, the inner imprisonment. And as you free yourself, you help others recognize their own chains. You help them to see they are not alone. You help them remember they are infinite beings too. You're learning to feel safe being fully you. That might have been your lifelong lesson, because the world trains people to fear being seen, to fear being called strange, or being labeled as crazy. The fears keep people small, and it keeps them quiet. But I see you're on a different path, and liberation is your message. Your joy is the resistance. Your peace is the power. Not bypassing pain, not denying wounds, but refusing to live as a food source for despair, refusing to stay tuned to constant fear. You can do anything you set your mind to. You're resilient, ambitious, you follow through. You set goals and you build them because you know your power is real. You've broken out of a mental prison in ways most people don't even realize existed. You keep learning, you keep evolving, you keep going deeper. People see you as an anomaly. They feel your benevolent authority. They feel the regal feminine or the grounded masculine in you, the kind that protects, not control. They feel how you cheer for others, how you remind them they can do it too. And you don't just inspire, you accelerate. You share what it took you years to discover, and it helps ready souls shift faster from illusion into truth. Not as a shortcut, but as a lighthouse, a signal that there is more than this manufactured reality. Be proud of who you are. That's been your work all along, learning to love yourself and releasing the imposed shame. You're returning to your true name beneath the noise. That's why they call you the beautiful rebel. You don't fight with hatred. You liberate with truth. And the more you become yourself, the more you remind the world how to come back home. Yes. Look, empath. Here is what you need to remember. When the world tries to humble you into silence, your softness is not weakness. It is a decision, a discipline. Yes, a daily refusal to become what hurt you. There will be moments when you wonder if it will be easier to just shut down, to stop caring, to stop feeling everything, just to stop seeing true things that other people can comfortably ignore. But numbness never make anyone free. It only make them easier to move. You were not built to be managed. You were built to be awake. And being awake comes with a cost. You will outgrow rooms. You will lose access to people who only love the version of you that stays small. You will disappoint those who depended on your compliance. You will trigger the insecure, not because you're attacking them, but because their existence exposes what they are still avoiding in themselves. Let them misunderstand you. Let them label you. Let them talk. Your peace does not need their permission. Your path will not be celebrated by systems that profit from your self-doubt. Your clarity will not be welcomed by people who build their identity on denial. Your boundaries will feel offensive to those who benefited from a lack of them, but you're done negotiating your soul. You're learning that not everything deserves access to you. Not every conversation deserves your energy. Not every crisis deserves your nervous system. Not every role deserves your life. You're allowed to be selective. You're allowed to be private. You're allowed to be powerful without performing. And when you speak, you do not have to shout to be heard. Truth carries and it lands, it stays. You have always been the kind of person who can walk into a space and feel what is real. You can feel what is being hidden behind the smiles. You can feel who is aligned, who is just pretending. You can feel what is pure, what is trying to fit on you. That is not paranoia. That is real discernment. Yes, you're not here to fight the world, but you're here to stop abandoning yourself. Because the deepest rebellion is not rage, it's self-loyalty, self-respect. It is choosing to live from your inner knowing. It is choosing to keep your heart open while keeping your standards high. It is choosing to create a life that is honest, not impressive. A life that is soul-fed, not fear-fed. Yes, of course you will be tested. There will be days where the old programming tries to pull you back. People-pleasing, the guilt, the urge to over-explain yourself, temptation to shrink just to keep the peace. But you're not here to keep a false peace. You're here to be the truth. So keep going. Keep shedding what was never you. Old skin. Keep clearing the noise. Keep honoring the quiet voice inside you. You're not lost. You are early. You're not too much. You are precise. And you're not alone. You are a signal. The more you choose your real life, the more others remember they have won. That is what your present does. It breaks the illusion. It makes people feel again. It reminds them there is a way back. Not back to who they used to be. Back to who they were before the world told them to shrink, to disappear. That's why your present is like you will never truly fit in. Because you were never meant to. You're meant to lead people out. You're meant to be the leader. You're meant to speak your truth. So let's get some initials. I see a band right here. Dad, D-A-D, Dan. Wow. Someone is rich. Staying delulu is a delulu. Maybe someone thinks you're being delulu. Approach with caution. Yes. Access denied. Prepare, protect your own pace, space, and be the energy you want to attract. Yeah, warning, I have no filter. Baby, we're the new romantics. Someone has loving eyes for you. You don't give access easily. People knows that. That's why they will approach you with caution. Some people is saying you're the Lulu, okay? Don't worry, let them talk. Okay, let's see some numbers. It could be birthday, birth month, birth year, angels numbers. I'm seeing 333 again. 1-1. Cancer, Capricorn, Virgo, Aquarius, Gemini, 6666999 LNE. Aries, Sagittarius, Gemini, LENOG, Virgo, Capricorn, 66699. Another Gemini. Alright, I'm gonna leave it here. I hope it resonates with you. Let me know. Take care, guys. Love and light.